button comes in tight toward the spine. Hips are above the knees. Tuck your toes into the mat. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your hips, look up to the ceiling, cow pose. And then exhale, push your hips forward, elbows towards your thighs for cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips. We're arching the spine, stretching out the stomach. And then exhale, rounding out the lower back. Take about 5 more on your own. Now is a good point to connect your breath to your movement. So you want to use your inhales as we find length. And your exhales to soften. Cat-cow is one of the best lower back stretches you could give yourself. And then from here, we're going to find a neutral tabletop. What you're going to do, we'll start on the left side. You're going to tuck your left toes to the back edge of your mat and gently just start to press your body weight forward and backward, rocking into the ball mount of your foot. You should feel a stretch pretty much everywhere in the back of your leg. A little bit of the hamstring, a calf, Achilles heel, arch of the foot. Hold it back there for an extra moment. And then you're going to move back to your neutral spine. Keep your left leg extended back. Gaze shifts to the top of your mat. Extend your right fingertips forward. So opposite leg, opposite arm. Draw your belly button in nice and tight. Now lift your left leg up. So it requires a little bit of balancing, a little bit of stability work. Find a spot that's not moving. Stare at it. Let it help you find your support. And then use your breath to give you that a little extra boost. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, knee meets the elbow, round. Inhale, reach forward, kick back. Exhale, knee to elbow. 2 more. Inhale, get long. Exhale, pull it in. Last one, inhale. And exhale, connect. Drop it down. I'm just going to switch my view for you. Still in your tabletop position, tuck your right toes to the back edge of your mat. And just start to shift your body weight forward and backward as we did on the other side. Good, so you should feel that exact same stretch on the right side. Next time you come back, hold it there for an extra moment. Press firmly through that right hand. Belly button comes in tight toward the spine. Reach your left fingertips forward now. Gaze could be at like the top of your mat. Lift the right leg up. Get nice and long, belly button in tight. Inhale, get a little longer. Exhale, knee to elbow, round. Inhale, reach forward, kick back. Exhale, pull it in. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Last time, inhale, and exhale. Good. Knees and feet together. Just take a little child's pose. Let that go. So knees to chest. Anytime we're there, you're stretching out the lower back. So child's pose. When we're on our back, when we're standing in our forward fold, you'll start to notice that common theme today. When you're ready, roll forward to your tabletop position. Make sure your blocks are nearby at the top of your mat. We're going to use them in a moment. Let's make our way to downward facing dog. Tuck your right toes back, left toes back, plank pose, without moving your hands or your feet. Hips come up and back, downward facing dog. So take a moment here in your down dog to figure out what's comfortable. You can bicycle out the knees, shift your hips, shift your shoulders, nod your head yes, shake it no. And then let's root down here into downward facing dog. You're pressing flat and firm into your hands. Your arms are framing your ears. Your gaze is actually up toward your belly button or the back of your mat, whichever is most comfortable. Belly button draws in tight toward the spine. Lift the hips up high. And early on in class, it's probably a pretty intense hamstring stretch. So have a little bend in your knees. Take another inhale, fill up. As you exhale, you're going to walk your hands backward toward the back of your mat. Keep your knees bent. Hold on to opposite elbows here in your forward fold. Nod your head yes. Shake it no. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Inhale, rise up to stand. So make your way up to the top of your mat. Moving through a couple of sun breaths. Inhale, reach up, gaze and palms meet at the top. And then exhale, forward fold. Hands press into your shins. Inhale, flatten out the back. Exhale, lower down. Press firmly through the big toes. Inhale, rise up 1 vertebrae at a time. So from a side view, let's talk about that flattening out of the back. Again, inhale, lift up, gaze and palms meet at the top. And then exhale, forward fold. Press your hands into your shins. Push your body away. Flatten out the back. Hollow in the belly. And then exhale, lower down. holding on to opposite elbows again. So you should notice the closer you bring your chest towards your thighs, the deeper of a hamstring stretch you're going to get. Bend your knees. You can even rest your belly on your thighs. Nod your head, yes. Shake it, no. Switch the cross of your elbows. Gently sway side to side. Wrap your hands around your waist. Give it a squeeze. Inhale, come on up to stand. We're coming down one more time. I'll just switch my view here once more. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, flatten out the back. Exhale, lower. This time, take your peace sign fingers, wrap them around your big toes. If you can't reach your big toes, bend your knees till you get there. You can have that exaggerated bend, no problem. Elbows spin out to opposite ends of the room. You're gonna inhale, pull up on your big toes, try to straighten the legs just a little bit, and then exhale, fold your upper body into your lower body. So that straightening of your legs for some of us is like a millimeter. That's perfectly fine. We want to kind of find that length. Your inhale, straightening just a bit. Exhale, folding. Every time you straighten, you should feel that hamstring stretch. One more big inhale, fill up. As you exhale, wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Inhale, come on up to stand. Good. So blocks are at the top of the mat. We'll need them in a little while. We're making our way back to downward facing dog. So come to the back of your mat. Inhale, reach up, gaze and palms meet at the top. And then exhale, dive out. Inhale, press your hands into your shins, flatten out the back. As you exhale, you're walking your hands forward to your plank pose. So hang out here in your plank for a moment. We've been working on modified vinyasas. We're going to start with a couple of them today. We're then going to progress on to a more traditional vinyasa. Vinyasas are completely optional if you are not interested. Meet us in down dog. If down dog doesn't work, meet us in child's pose. So from here, drop your knees, shift your chest past your hands, hug the elbows in tight, look out as you lower your upper body down to the bottom of the push-up. Uncurl the toes, lift your upper body up, baby cobra pose. Take an inhale. As you exhale, push yourselves up and back, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Second down dog of the day, taking whatever you need to feel comfortable here. So, continuing on with the hamstrings. You're going to step up with your right foot. And I want you to step up so your foot plants down nice and flat. You can bend that right knee if you need to, but right away, you should start to feel a pretty big hamstring stretch. Start to press your body weight backward. Feel the stretch intensify. Take 3 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, bring that right foot back. Let's try the left side. Walk the left foot up just an inch. Just enough so you can plant your foot nice and flat, and then you should feel that really, really big, juicy hamstring stretch. Maybe even a little bit in the calf. Bend your knees if you need that relief. One more inhale. And then exhale, let that go back to your downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Hands press into the shins, flatten at the back, prepare the spine, and then lower down. Inhale, gently rise up, one vertebrae at a time. Good. We're making our way back to downward facing dog. Second vinyasa. This one will be a little bit more of the traditional one. Inhale, lift up, gaze and palms meet at the top, and then exhale, dive forward. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank pose. So we're eliminating the knee part. You're gonna lower to the bottom of the push-up from your plank. Shift your body weight past your hands, hug the elbows in, look out, inhale. As you exhale, lower all the way down to the bottom of your push-up. Uncurl the toes, press into the hands, maybe lift up to upward facing dog, so just your hands and the tops of the feet are into the mat. Gently roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Child's pose is always your option, but I'd like for your long-term goal to be that downward dog becomes your neutral, becomes your place to reset. When you're ready, you're going to gently bring your right foot up to the top of your mat. You're going to drop the left knee. Uncurl your toes. Carefully rise up. So we're standing on the left knee. If it is really sensitive for you to be leaning on your knee, I want you to grab a blanket, pillow, whatever support you need. Hands wrap around your waist, and you're going to extend or shimmy your right leg forward so you're pressing into your heel. There's a straight line between the crown of your head, your torso, and your tailbone. Some of us might be arching the spine. I want you to zip your tailbone down to the floor. Roll the shoulder blades all the way up and back. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're gently just leaning your body weight forward. So we're still kind of warming up here. Even if you can go deeper, I'd like you just to stay here for now. You should notice that the straighter your leg, the deeper of a stretch you'll get, because bending our knee always gives us relief, but I want you to get comfortable in straightening your leg. If you feel nothing, try curling your toes back towards your face. Take another inhale, fill up. Exhale out all the way, drop that right knee back, and let's switch sides. Left leg comes out. Make sure your leg is nice and straight. There's a straight line running through the crown of your head to your tailbone, so if you're arching, zip your tailbone back up, push your hips forward, direct your tailbone down to the ground, curl your left toes back towards your face. If you feel like you're wobbly here, it might be because your left heel and your right knee are on a tightrope. Just kind of scoot your left leg out to the left side of the mat, and then just gently press your body weight forward. Again, if you feel nothing, try curling your toes back towards your face. Take another inhale. Exhale out all the way, gently left back go. So back on our hands and knees, moving through a vinyasa, whether it is modified, traditional, or just come back to downward facing dog. I'm going to go through the traditional. Plank pose, shift your body weight forward, hug the elbows in, take an inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Uncurl the toes, upward facing dog, look up toward the ceiling, get that really juicy back bend. And then exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. Good, about 3 more breaths. You're all going to stay. I'm just going to switch my down dog so you can see. Everybody should have a block toward the top of the mat. When you're ready, you're going to inhale, reach your right toes up for the ceiling. Get nice and long as if you can actually touch the ceiling with your big toe. Use your core strength and your exhale to bring your right foot to the top of your mat. Take a moment, make sure your block or your book are nearby. You're going to keep it right next to the right foot. You're going to spin back on the left heel. So your left foot is actually now flat, and we want a heel to arch alignment. And then you're going to cartwheel open into warrior 2. So in warrior 2, there is a straight line between your right knee and your right ankle. Left leg is nice and straight. You're pressing into the pinky toe edge of your foot. I want you to straighten your right leg. Reach your right fingertips as far forward as possible, and then you're going to drop your right hand to your shin. Left arm reaches up for triangle pose. In your triangle pose, you should feel a pretty big hamstring stretch. If it is uncomfortable for you to have your right hand on your shin, grab your block or your prop, put your body weight into your prop. So that's why I recommend having a prop that can be pretty weight bearing here. I want your right arm to be as weightless as possible. You shouldn't be collapsing into that right side because you're lifting and reaching up through the left. Take another inhale here. Exhale out all the way. Belly button comes in tight towards your spine. You're going to inhale, take your block or your prop with you, rise up. So rotate your right toes in. Here we are in like this straddle leg position. You are facing horizontally on your mat. We're going to fold from here. So drop your prop just about out in front of you. Arms come out into a T position. Roll the shoulder blades up and back. Take a big inhale. As you exhale with straight arms, gently start to fold forward. Grab hold of your prop. You're going to inhale, flatten out your back, prepare your spine, and then exhale, just start to bend the elbows and fold forward. If you have the mobility to touch the ground from here, feel free to do it. If you need that extra support, that's why we have our props. And you should feel a really, really big stretch happening on the inside of both of your thighs and your hamstrings. Once we get down here and you feel stable, I want you to drop your head. Have your head framed by your biceps. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, press firmly into your big toes. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Inhale, roll up to stand. You're going to rotate your right toes back, bend your right knee, arms meet in your warrior 2 position. Inhale here in your warrior 2. As you exhale, cartwheel your hands down, spin back to the ball line of that left foot. Hands plant firmly. Let's meet back in plank pose. Option to do your vinyasa, take a child's pose, or meet us in down dog. So if you're going for the vinyasa, hug the elbows in, shift your body weight forward, lower to the bottom with your push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Good, you're all gonna stay here in down dog. I'm just gonna switch my view. That prop is exactly where we left it. Take about 3 more breaths here. If you're in child's pose, you're gonna meet us in down dog in 2 breaths. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. If you came to child's pose, please meet us in down dog. And then when you're ready, inhale, left toes up for the ceiling. Point them nice and high. Use your exhale on your core strength to bring your left foot to the top of your mat. Spin back on your right foot. Right foot should be nice and flat. You're pressing into the pinky toe edge of your foot. Come up onto your tip of your fingers first, and then you're gonna rise up for warrior 2 on this side. So just take a moment to get your feet straight. Your right leg is your back leg, it's nice and long. Left knee is bent in your warrior legs. Arms are nice and straight here. So, prop is nearby in case we need it. Triangle pose. Straighten the left leg as much as you can. Inhale, reach as far forward as possible. And then exhale, drop your hands to your shin. By the way, if you can't reach your shin, that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you have tight hamstrings. I don't want you putting weight into your knee. That's how we accidentally injure ourselves. So if the knee is unavoidable, thigh is perfectly fine. Or grab your props, play Legos with your props, right? I always like to say if the ground is far away, bring the ground to you. And the same goes for the exact opposite. If you're here and you're like, yeah, so what, I feel nothing, remove your supports, challenge yourselves. The ultimate expression of this pose is that you take your peace sign fingers, wrap them around your big toes, and you're here. Maybe not today, but maybe someday. You're going to release your grip wherever you are, press firmly into your front foot, your left foot, inhale, rise up. So once more, grab your prop if you need it. You're going to pivot your left toes and your right toes so that they are facing each other. So second time with our wide-legged forward fold. What you're going to do this time is interlace your fingers behind your back. You're going to draw your knuckles down to the ground, really open up the chest. You should feel your shoulder blades kissing each other. It's going to be a really big shoulder stretch here. Inhale, roll all the way up and back, open up the chest. As you exhale, gently lower down, arms come up overhead. So in a perfect world, your pinkies rest on the floor here. Same with the crown of your head. In real time, I want you to feel a really, really big shoulder stretch and a really big stretch in your hamstrings, just like we got in that first try. If this is a really challenging and borderline maybe uncomfortable, painful position for your shoulders, feel free to drop your hands to the ground or to your props. We're gonna meet there in just a moment. 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, stay in your forward fold, but just release your hands. Bring your hands down to the ground. Inhale, push into your hands. And by the way, if you can't reach the ground, grab your prop or maybe make your legs a little bit wider. Your right hand is gonna plant in front of your face, press firmly into it, peel your left fingertips open for the ceiling. Get that little twist in. You should feel the stretch intensify in the left inner thigh. I'm sorry, the right inner thigh. 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale, fill up. Exhale, drop your left hand in front of your face now. Press firmly through the left hand. Inhale, right fingertips up. Now accentuating the stretch in the left inner thigh. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale, fill up. As you exhale, drop your hands. You're going to carefully walk your hands forward toward the top of your mat. You're now framing your front foot. So we're back in that warrior position. Pivot back on your right toes. Plant your hands firmly. Step your left foot back to meet your right. We've got just 2 more vinyasas left today. You have the option to take it or meet us in down dog. Lower all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So this is about our 5th or 6th down dog. I want you to just kind of take a moment. Notice how loose your hamstrings might be feeling. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Create that space in the upper back. Take about 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step your right foot up, then your left foot up, prepare the spine, and then exhale, lower down. Press firmly through the big toes. Inhale, rise up 1 vertebrae at a time. So you'll need your props. At the top of your mat, last standing pose, then we're down on the ground. You're going to bring your feet at the top of your mat about hips width distance, so that's always 2 fists in between your feet. That'll have your hips directly above your ankles. And you're going to take your props to the pinky toe edges of your foot and then rise up. So you can use a foam roller here. You can use a book that stands upright. Whatever, again, will be weight bearing. Wrap your hands around your waist. And you're going to take a step back with your right foot. Maybe about a foot or so behind your prop. Don't have it be directly behind your left leg because then your hips start to pivot off. We want squared hips. Roll the shoulder blades all the way up and back. Take an inhale. As you exhale, gently lower down. Grab your props. Hips are still squared forward. You're drawing your left hip back and your right hip forward. You should feel a really, really big stretch in the left hamstring. If you need to bend that left knee a little bit, completely okay. If you are using your props and you're like, yeah, so what? You can decrease the height of your props. If and only if you can maintain that flat back, you can release your props. And the ultimate expression of the pose is to be able to draw your nose towards your shin. Just options, not requirements. Wherever you are, we're here for about 2 more breaths. The more intense the stretch gets, the deeper your breath should become. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Wrap your hands around your waist. Give it a squeeze. Inhale. Roll up to standing position. Good. So I'm going to flip around just so you can see this from another point of view. You're going to keep your props and your feet as they are. So props in between the pinky toes. You're going to wrap your hands around your waist. This time your left foot steps back, maybe about a foot, foot and a half behind the prop. So remember, it's not directly behind the right foot, it's behind your prop, hips stay squared. Roll the shoulder blades all the way up and back, take an inhale. As you exhale, lower down, grab hold of your props again. So remember, if this is too intense, bend your right knee, that's completely okay. If you want to intensify, decrease the height of your blocks. I'm drawing my right hip backwards and my left hip forwards to keep me square. And then eventually, once it becomes comfortable, drop your chest, drop the neck. 3 more breaths here. Keep pressing firmly into your big toes. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Inhale, roll back up to stand. Very good. So let's keep the blocks off to the side while we're standing. Grab your strap because we're going to come down to lay on the floor. You're going to need it. Last vinyasa today, we're going to meet on the ground, lying down. Totally optional. You can just, meet us there in about 30 seconds or so. At the top of your mat, final vinyasa. Inhale, reach up, gaze and palms meet at the top. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, flatten out your back, prepare the spine. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot back to plank, left foot back to plank, and then move through. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And then from your downward facing dog, drop your knees, take a child's pose. One more inhale. As you exhale, gently press yourselves up to sit. So we're gonna come to lie down on our backs. You're gonna want your strap nearby and your blocks just in case. And when you're ready, you're gonna lie down all the way, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourselves a nice big squeeze. So it's the exact same thing as child's pose, getting that lower back relief while we're here. You're gonna extend your left leg out. You'll grab your strap. Place your strap on your right foot. You wanna have it on the ball mat of your foot, not so much on the sole of your foot. Hold onto your strap with both hands, and as best as you're able to, line your heel and your hip up with each other. Again, if you need that soft bend in your knees, please take it, or give yourself some more slack in your straps. You're gonna gently just rock your leg forward and backward. So some of us have really sensitive hamstrings, which is completely okay, but that's all the more mindful you should be in a position like this. It's very easy to accidentally overdo it with your hamstrings. So if you're at the point of borderline crying over this stretch, I really recommend bending your knee. No need to accidentally blow out the hamstring here. After a couple more stretches, I'm just really gently rocking my leg forward and backward toward my face, giving that hamstring stretch. You're gonna pause here, line your heel and your hip up with each other, make some slow circles with your heel as if you're drawing a circle like the size of an apple. So we're just bringing some mobility over to the hip joint. You're gonna pause at the middle, strap will come into your right hand, your left arm will drop out into like a T shape or a goalpost shape, depending upon the space you have. And you're gonna carefully drop your right leg out to the right. So if you think about a clock, my head and my left leg are at 12 and 6 o'clock, and my right leg is out at 9 o'clock, as best as possible. If you get to the point where you start to feel the left side of your body leaving the ground, that's the deepest point I want you to go to today. It's really important to try to keep your entire body square to the mat so that we don't accidentally create any imbalances here. Take 2 more breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. 1 more inhale, fill up. As you exhale, draw your belly button in tight towards your spine. Use your inhale and your core strength to bring your right leg back up to the middle of your mat. Now, you're gonna just switch hands. Your left hand will take the strap. Your right arm will drop out into your T shape. My staircase is in the way, so I'm just gonna scooch out a little bit. You're now gonna drop your right leg all the way over to the left. So at this point, your right hip is going to leave the ground. Your right shoulder is going to leave the ground. That's completely okay. Think about that clock again. Your right arm and your right leg are at 3 and 9 o'clock. Your head and your left leg are at 12 and 6 o'clock. You should be feeling this really big, juicy, twisting sort of a stretch on the right side. And then the deeper you bring your right leg to the left, the more of an IT band stretch you're gonna get. That's that nasty little tendon on the outside of your thigh. If you're a runner or a cyclist, your IT band and you are probably pretty friendly. You're gonna use your inhale to bring your right leg back up. You're gonna carefully drop the strap. We're still working the right side. Bend your left knee, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, create a figure 4 shape. So a quick little hip stretch. For some of us, this might be enough. You can stay. If you'd like more of a stretch, you're gonna bring your left knee into your chest. If you look between your legs, there's like a little window. You're gonna reach your right arm between that window and then interlace your fingers behind the left hamstring. And you should feel a little bit of a hip stretch here. Take 2 more breaths. This is pigeon pose on our backs. I promise we will get to a pigeon class one day. But if you know that you have tight hips, this is a great place to come to for a hip stretch. Super non-invasive, and you get the exact same benefit. Gently let this go and hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourselves a big squeeze. When you're ready, you're gonna drop your feet back down, take your strap, put your strap around the left foot now. Remember, we want the strap on the ball mount of the left foot, and then you'll extend your right leg out. Hold onto the strap with both hands. If you need to bend your knee, that's totally okay, or you can give yourself a little bit more slack in the straps to straighten out your leg. And you'll just gently rock your leg forward and backward in toward your chest. One side might feel different than the other. That's completely okay for us in class, but it might mean in life outside of class you favor one side, so just something to be mindful of. Take a pause here. You're going to line your heel and your hip up with each other and make some slow circles like the size of an apple. So you're making a circle with your heel. Your ankle is not moving, so it ends up like the entire leg is moving. Circle in the other direction. And then take a pause. The strap will come in the left hand. Your right arm will drop out into a T shape. You're going to take your left leg all the way out to the left. So my staircase is actually in the way here, but that's kind of a good thing, because if you're someone who has really, really tight hamstrings and inner thighs, makeshift props like your staircase are great because it helps you from overdoing it. And it's also forcing your body to stay nice and square to the floor. We spoke about before, you don't want the right side of your body to start to leave the ground in these deep stretches. We want to maintain sort of equilibrium everywhere. So staircases, walls, couches, chairs, all those things work to have nearby in these lower body stretches. When you're ready, use your inhale to bring your left leg back up to the middle of your body. We're still working the left leg. Take your right hand, grab the strap. Your left arm now drops out into a T shape, and you'll be able to see on this side, try to drop your left leg all the way over to the right. So if you can see, my left hip now is completely off the floor. My left shoulder is nearly off the floor, and you should feel a really, really nice twist starting in your armpit, traveling down the rib cage, continuing through the hip and the IT band. And in this position, the closer you bring your foot to your face, the more of an IT band stretch you will feel. And by the way, always bend your knee if you need to. Bending your knee does not make you a bad yogi. It makes you a very smart and self-aware yogi. Use your inhale and your core strength to bring that left leg back up to the middle of your mat. One more stretch on the left side. Ditch the strap. You're going to bend your right knee, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, create your figure 4 shape. And then you're going to bring your right knee into your chest, interlace your fingers behind the right hamstring, and then here's your pigeon pose on the opposite side. So you have your option to keep that right leg in a tabletop position, or if you want, you can try to straighten your right leg up toward the ceiling. Just options, not requirements. Take another inhale. As you exhale, carefully let this go. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Gently rock side to side. You're going to raise your right arm over your head. Your bicep will become a little bit of a pillow as you carefully roll all the way over to your right side. Take a pause. Give yourselves a moment to adjust. And then when you're ready, use your left hand to press yourselves back up into a comfortable position. And you are all done today, everybody. Thank you.